Hello, Shaylee. My name is Heath Johnston.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Have a seat.
Thank you.
I printed out your resume a few days ago and have been studying it, and I'm quite impressed.
Oh, great. I brought you one just in case you needed
Oh,
another copy
thank
as
you.
well.
I appreciate that. So I'm glad that you're here to apply for the sales manager position. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I'm currently a student at Brigham Young University. I will be graduating from the business management program this upcoming April. I'm currently working at a company doing the sales and marketing and hoping to get this position.
Well, that's good. So tell me a little bit about your education. We've had several BYU graduates that have come to work for us, and we're quite impressed with them. I know it's hard to get into and hard to get good grades with the level of competition.
Yeah, that's definitely true. I've had my fair share of hard classes, but I've tried to maintain a good GPA and done decently well in all of my classes. So I'm grateful for my time at BYU.
No, that's good. It's even more challenging, but I really respect those that go to school and work.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about where you work and what it is you do there.
Yes, so I'm currently working at Flagship Financial. What I do there is I help veterans refinance their loan. I actually help sell their loan. And it's been a great opportunity. I've been able to, come to know these people, these veterans that are wanting to refinance their loan, but also it's given me, more experience in the sales and marketing aspect and been able to, have a lot of experience in that category. So.
Well, that's good. It's we're not just hiring another salesperson, but a sales manager. And tell me why you feel that you would be good for this position, and what type of skills would you would be able to bring to the job?
Absolutely. I think that's a great question. I think that one of my greatest strengths is being a leader. I always have been a leader my entire life. I don't feel uncomfortable in a leading role, but I also feel that I lead by example. I don't just require people to, follow what I say. I try to lead by example and show them that what I'm doing is what I expect of them as well.
That's good. I know even in my position, I'm constantly filling the eyes of other employees on me, and it's a burden and an opportunity, but you always have to do what you can to lead by example. And the other thing that you said that I think is important is that those who feel natural in leading is key. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
so with that being said, and I ask this in a lot of job interviews, but I think it's a question that really helps me get a better feel for you. But what are some of your strengths that you think you could bring to the job? You've mentioned a few, but expand and give me even a more broad understanding.
Yeah. Like I mentioned before, I do feel that I'm a good leader. I also feel that I'm a hard worker. I feel that there are very few skills or strengths that are more important than working hard, because if you work hard, you're dedicated and you're accountable and people can count on you. So that's something that I've always prided myself on, is just working hard and accomplishing whatever I set my mind to.
Well, that's good. As a sales manager, sales are different than other positions in the company because you might have a customer that calls and you just have to answer even well into the evening. How do you feel about being able to do that and being a salary position and not just an hourly position, where sometimes you might work 60 hours in a week because we're trying to get something out? How do you feel about that?
Absolutely. I do think that there are pros and cons with the sales position, but that's something that I've actually come to love, is just knowing that the hours that I put in are really going to benefit me. So if I'm going to have someone calling me in the evening or someone calling me really early in the morning, it's worth it to me because I want to see the results and I want to, accomplish what my goals are. So I think that, as far as hourly, that doesn't really matter to me as long as I'm accomplishing my goals and at the end of the day.
Well, that's good. Being in leadership and a manager, it's just standard that it comes with the territory that you'll be called to help resolve concerns and conflicts, sometimes with employees and sometimes customers that are really upset about something, and we have to help them and walk them through that process. But specifically with employees right now, if you had, say, two individuals that were having conflict within the group, and one was probably more at fault and causing conflict within the whole group, how do you think you would resolve that?
Yeah. I think that the best way to resolve those kind of situations is to be as direct as possible. Be very assertive in addressing the problem and making sure that whoever is at fault realizes that there's almost an ultimatum that they can either adjust and fix how they're acting, or that they're going to have to leave, because ultimately you want your success to come from your employees. And if you have negative vibes within your company, that's ultimately going to hurt you guys in the end. So I think that it's important to be direct and assertive.
I agree, and if there's ever an area of a company that has to have continuity, it's the sales team, because you have to work as a group more than any other area, and it's where the customers can see and feel it if there's conflict.
Very true.
So that's a thing that we really demand and encourage. So I appreciate your answer. So we're a fairly new company, and we've had a lot of growth, and within that, a lot of our managers have started out on the ground level and have grown into management positions. And so we're often setting goals and often changing them because it's growing so fast. So with that being the premise of my question, tell me how you see yourself over the next few years if we were to hire you.
Absolutely. Well, I think that as long as your goals match where your company's headed, that's always important. If you were to set goals now and your company were to continue to grow, obviously you're going to need to adjust your goals in the future to match where your company is headed. So I think just being able to adjust and change to best accomplish your goals for the company is most important, and just being able to not stay closed-minded and have one goal set in mind for the next few years. I also just think that having the company's best interest in mind is important, and that would obviously be how I felt for the next few years, and doing my best to do whatever I have to do in order to keep the company growing and having success.
I really like how you said that, specifically because we set goals our first year, and we were 3 months into the year and we'd already obtained our goal.
Yeah.
And so we learned right then that we had to constantly set new goals, and even our long-term goals we have to update often and be realistic, but it's not always that you're shattering your goals, and so we have to have people that are quick on their feet and can adjust. Well, I really appreciate getting to know you better, and wanted to know, do you have any questions for me?
Yeah, actually, I just have three. I'll be quick, but they were I had kind of done a little bit of research on the company. And my first question was, I understand that you guys use Zoho for your, sales team and how you keep track of your leads and your sales. But I know I've heard in the past they've had some problems. So I'm just interested to know how you guys are, adjusting to fix those problems, or if that's something that you guys are addressing in the upcoming year.
Well, I'm impressed that you asked that question and that you even know about it, because that's been a source of pain for us. Zoho started out to be such a great company, and like us, they've had their growing pains. That's no excuse, because it has caused us a lot of pain. But we love their product, and so we've worked with them as they've made updates and changes. But they're within a week or two going to upload their new software, and it should resolve our issues. Our team has done a great job in filling in the gap, but it's caused our people to work a lot harder, more paperwork, which is not the design that we had intended for. That said, if they don't correct it, we'll have to switch, which will be painful too.
Yeah.
So we're very hopeful that we'll have that resolved in the next few weeks, and hopefully if we were to hire you before you actually started.
Oh yeah, no, that's great to know. My next question was just, I know you guys have had a lot of sales managers in and out of the position, so I'm just curious to know what you feel is the most important characteristic to a successful sales manager.
Well, we've had a lot come in and out for two reasons. One, we've had some great ones that we've moved over into other management positions,
Which
and
is great.
yes, it's given opportunity. And the negative side of that is we've had a few that haven't been able to lead out as well, and that's why we're hiring right now. And so, the biggest thing that we're looking for is leadership and energy,
Okay.
and to lead a team because our salespeople are all so uniquely different and have different skill sets. So we need a strong leader. And so if there's anything that we're looking for, it's someone that can lead in that position and to encourage and keep them task oriented, that would match our growth. So that's kind of what we're looking for.
Great. No, that sounds awesome. Just my last question. I know, like we had talked about a little bit before, you guys are kind of a startup company, but you've seen huge growth in the last few years. What are your goals and plans for the company in the next 2 years?
Well, we've actually doubled every year for the last two, and on the third year we're on pace to do it again. We're hoping going forward that we'll have a little more controlled growth because we're becoming large enough that we need to make sure that we keep our quality in place. And at first, doubling wasn't that hard,
Yeah.
but now it's becoming much more challenging. So we're trying to make sure we have a good foundation in doing that and the right leadership and team. So even though we're going to be growing a lot, we're not going to grow or allow it to grow as fast so we don't lose out on our quality.
No, I think that's great. I think quality is more important than quantity, so I think that's a great way to plan for the future. Well, thank you so much for the interview. I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you, Shaylee. We're very impressed, and we'll be getting back to you shortly.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.